Hello and welcome to the Icaran sector. Welcome to the next build and paint video. This time we are going to build the big guy himself. So I picked up the Council of the Death Lord box fairly recently, a long time after Christmas actually. They were still on sale because my aim this year is to build both Mortarion and Magnus, and I was still refreshing my Death Guard force, and this came with the Terminators and then the 2 units of troops. And the price difference, basically I got the unit of the troops for free. So it just made sense. So I'm not going to focus on building any of the others. I'm going to focus purely on Mortarion himself, because then we'll build up Mortarion. We can sit next to Typhus, who I upgraded recently. So let's have a look in the box first. So we have a nice load of plastic. That looks like troops. That one looks more also like troops. Troops. No, is that one the Terminators? That one is the Terminators. Oh wow! So Mortarion is just 2 sprues, and presumably very big base. Terminators, Marines, and Mortarion's instructions. Yeah, just 2 sprues. Okay, it looks like you'll probably go together fairly quickly. I'm wondering where the best place... the wings are just solid pieces. So I'm wondering if it's best to get here, have the 2 wings off, have the 2 arms off and deal with them separately, and then bring it all together at the end. Alright, well let's get him to here and then jump back in. Okay, so we've got him on his base and built up. Wings are separate, and looks like this arm needs kind of fixed. But then it's choice of axe in front, axe behind. I'm thinking that this gun called a lantern. I think maybe the gun forward and doing it that way. Yeah, there's two different ways of doing it, but we can build this arm separate. Maybe build this bit separate, and his head. Maybe his head can get fixed in place. That should be okay. And yeah, so his arm will be separate. This will be separate, his wings will be separate. I can't figure out how the wings actually attach to his body. I haven't figured that out yet. So let's get the last remaining parts built up. And that's it, built. Kind of, really, his arm actually kind of needs to sort of be part of it, I think. So that's glued into place. So that was the scythe, the wings, and his body with his springy bits. Yeah, he's quite a sizable model, isn't he? And then when you add the wings in afterwards, yeah, he goes quite tall. It's not quite knight profile, but he's not far off, is he? So yes. So what we need to do now is give him a little bit of time for it to set properly. Then base coat him. And maybe Zenith will highlight him. Same again with the wings. Make sure that they stay the right way around. So yeah, they will go effect that way. That way and that way. I think. Oh. Is it? That way and that way, probably more likely. So we get all of that sprayed up and then start figuring out where we're going to start adding details and what sort of colours were going to be used. I did pick up a contrast Nurgle green, so we'll play around with that and see how that looks. But yeah, first things first, base him up and go from there. So yeah, sprayed black and then Gracia as the Zenithal. But we're quite a heavy Zenithal because I wanted to try and pick out as much as possible. But there's a couple of sort of extreme lines and darkness underneath there. And then he has 2 wings which go that way, which I'm gonna get the airbrush out and blend. Maybe start with Evil Sun's yellow contrast and then slowly add in the green and try and get tighter and tighter with the green as we go up, and then wash it down with grime and a few other things as well, and then pick out the veins that go through it, and then try and do the same on some other parts well. And then the rest of it, I'm not entirely certain. Maybe get the Death Guard green in for his armor, and his fabric, his cloth, I'm not entirely sure. Oh, I did Lauren green on the other ones. Yeah, I might stick with that and at least have him blending in. That's a good plan, right? Wings and details and things then we'll go on. So I made a start on this. I think I'm going for brasses, and I will do some darker brasses and some burnt golds. And then the wings I'm very happy with. So as I said, I sprayed them in Bad Moon Yellow, then started mixing in Plague Bearer Flesh and doing pass and pass, and then passing in certain areas, making the edges darker. And then the very last pass I added in some Warp Lightning and did that around the edge and on the tips there and under the darker areas here, and the same on this side as well. And then the last pass I emptied it out, cleaned out the airbrush, and Rattling Grime, again, it's sort of come up deeper in certain areas than others, but I'm very happy with how they've come out. So what I'm thinking for the leading edges here, I'm going to take some Mornfang Brown and Lauren Green, or Lauren Green and add a touch of Mornfang Brown just to darken it off, and then start the feathers or the tufts in Mornfang Green, and then maybe blend it into Death Guard Green. And then the actual tubes, I think I'm going to do a layer of Death Guard Green across them all, and then mix Death Guard Green with some Rakarth Flesh, and then just give it another layer across, and then maybe a touch of Agrax over the top. But I might varnish them before I do any of the Agrax stuff, so it kind of runs either side and just draw the line across like that. So that's the next piece of the puzzle. So we'll do the Mornfang Brown, Lauren Green on these edges and see how that looks, and maybe jump back in after we've done to the edge there. I took out a bit too much paint, so I got a bit further on than I expected because I wanted to use it all up. So yeah, the darker green there and the lighter green going out, and then the veins got the Death Guard and the Rakarth. Bits and pieces have come out, but I think once we spray it and add some Agrax, that'll blend it in a bit, should be okay. But yeah, they've come out quite nicely actually. So yes, I need to varnish these down, probably with a gloss varnish first, just to help the Agrax run, and then later on the models all put together, we can hit it with a matte varnish, or maybe an ultra matte. Oh no, we want it slightly glossy because he's slimy and Yeah, well, maybe we'll make him sort of satiny. Yeah. There we go, yeah. All right, varnish these ones first and then run the Agrax. And that's the wings finished with the varnish and the Agrax. That's come out quite nicely. I'm quite happy with those two. Actually, they do look kind of slimy, so I think I might just stick with the... I got this gloss varnish. That might just get blast across the whole thing. I think that is the effect actually I'm looking for. So I guess the next step is figuring out how I'm going to do the smoke. I'm thinking mixing dark purple into light purple, or do I start black, dark purple, light purple at the end? That could work. Well, like I said, the different brasses and some golds and things on the sections here. So I think, yes, finish this bit off. And then on the model itself, I think maybe we start with his cloth, the Lauren Green. I might do the internal one, maybe Mephiston Red? Wazdaka Red, something a bit darker. No, Mephiston, and then it'll get washed down with Agrax anyway, look a bit dirtier. Yeah, so there's just a touch of red beneath him, and then the green for the rest of his clothing. But first, let's finish this. And that's his axe done. I guess I used Black Templar, then Shyish Purple, then Luxion Purple. To finish that off, and then just a quick splash of Rattling Grime over the top. And then the Blood for the Blood God, the first pass I mixed in some Mournfang Brown, and then did that up so it got a bit more dried blood effect, and then added in some of the more fresh Blood for the Blood God to give that splashes up his axe. So then that just leaves us onto the main body. I've done some red there, and you do the next. I think, as I said, I think I'll start with the cloth and make my way sort of both inwards and outwards from there. Right, let's so that's the green of his cloak and the green of his armour done. I have done some highlighting with Nurgling Green. Everything got washed down in Agraxed and then dry brushed back up a little bit, and then highlighted in Deathguard Green, highlighted in Nurgle Green. And I think the next step is to do all of the metallics. Get all the metallics on him, get all the lead belcher in on the chains, and then the brasses and the coppers, and then jump in after that, I think. And then we do his tubes and the smoke and the bone protrusions and his sort of tubes of goop. So yeah, right, metallics next, and then we'll go on from there. And that's a lot of the metallics done. There's some coppers and brasses on the gun. These guys need a little bit of extra different colours and things to differentiate them at the minute. Then some golds and things around there, and then all the metal work done. I managed to snap the tip off, so I don't know how long that'll last, but hey. So yeah, I need to figure out the bones, and then maybe do a bit of the detailing on these extra things. Then some rusts and things, I think would probably be the next thing, and then all the fleshy bits, and then his base. Varnish him down, and then after that go and dirty up all the metals and things, Agrax and probably Rattling Grime. And yeah, and then he should be about finished. So I guess the next step, let's do the bones next, and then we can finish off the fumes coming out of there, and then we can work on the details on the metals. So we've got the bone, the smoke, and the fleshy bits done. So I think he himself is about done, apart from once he's varnished and dirtying him up a bit more and dirtying up his metals and things. So I guess we need to work on the Nurglings and his base. So let's get some Dawnstone on the base, and then get some Nurgling green on his Nurgling green on his Nurglings. And the wings on the two that have got wings, and we'll see how that looks. And that's the Nurglings, the wings, and the Dawnstone on the stone base done. So now we need to hit him with the gloss varnish, and then maybe thin down some rattling grime, and then some Agrex through the airbrush, and then maybe little bits of rust through the airbrush as well, carefully, and then do some muzzle burn and things on there, and then do some mud around the base, lots of Druchii Violet and Reikland Flesh Shade and Agrex on the base to make it look disgusting where he's moved over, and then we can glue him together, and that should be him done. I'm looking forward to this. Right, spray him down first, and then think about what we're going to hit with the airbrush. And there we have him, all grimed up, and I've also added in some is it nickel oxide? Yep, on the coppers and things. He's nice and dirty. His base is nice and dirty. So there's just two things left to do. We can, I guess at this stage, we can glue him all together. And once he's glued together, we can take a look at him. And then where I'm going to finish just now, I'm going to put the Tamiya soil effect, mud effect on the base, and then once that's dried, we can finish him off properly. So let's glue him together and see how he looks. And there he is with his wings attached, and his axe attack, his scythe attack attached. And here he is with his wings attached and his scythe attached, and let the glue set a little bit, but yeah, he is a big fella. When his wings are on, his wingspan is more than my camera can cope with at this angle. Yeah, that was he was fun. Well, but he's not finished yet though, so we need to put the mud down, and that's where we can leave it today. So we'll come back in once the mud's dried. Right, so the mud on his base is dried overnight. I need to hit that with some Agrex, and then all the disgusting colours to make it look rotten and disgusted, and then a black outline on the base, and he will be done. And the Demon Primarch of Nurgle has now been finished. His base is all purpley and green and disgusting, and he's got his nice black trim. I actually really enjoyed this build and paint. He was a lot more fun than I expected him to be, actually. I thought it might be a bit tricky, but this is step one of my plan for this year. I want 2 of the Demon Primarchs painted up. So I've got Mortarion, next one is Magnus at some point later this year. So if you'd like to see me build and paint Magnus at some point, please do like, subscribe, follow along to the channel, and we will have the 2 Demon Primarchs stood side by side at some point. Other than that, there's battle reports, boarding action battle reports, other paint and build videos in the works and planned up. So like, subscribe, follow along, and we will see you in the next video.